I'm Rebecca Zung, and I am just disgusted about this whole thing around Stop Asian Hate and all of this stuff that's going on. And it totally ties to narcissism, and it totally ties to how to negotiate with narcissists. And I'm going to give you the whole lowdown on that in this video, so stay tuned. Hey there. So, as I said, I'm Rebecca Zung. I've been recognized as a top attorney. I've written a couple of best-selling books, Negotiate Like You Matter and Breaking Free, a Step-by-Step Divorce Guide. And I've helped millions of people all over the planet, all over the globe, on how to negotiate powerfully with narcissists. And if that's something that you want to do, you want to feel powerful, you want to shift the dynamic, you want to turn things around, then you have only one option right here, and that is to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell, and that way you'll get notified when I upload brand new content. So there's a whole lot of stuff going around right now. It's actually trending. The hashtag of Stop Asian Hate is trending right now, and it's a very personal conversation for me because many of you may know that I'm half Asian. My dad was actually from China and came over here when he was 15, and he ended up becoming a doctor here. And he and his family, he came with his family, and they had nothing and made their way here and actually lived the American dream, just like many, many other immigrants have done. I'm very, very proud of my heritage. I'm very, very proud of my family. And so this whole thing around Asian hate it's just so disgusting to me. It's so disgusting to me that we're having race conversations in 2021. And if you want to know more about that, definitely check out my video that I did. It was my breakdown on the whole conversation with Prince Harry and his wife, Meghan Markle, and the conversation they had with Oprah. Definitely check that out. I talk a lot more about that in that video as well. The stories are all over the place. There was a story of a 91-year-old guy who was walking down the road in Oakland, California, and he just got pushed over. A 28-year-old was arrested for that. There was another story of an 84-year-old Vietnamese guy who was walking down the streets of San Francisco, and he was also just randomly pushed over. He actually died 2 days later. The stories, we keep hearing these stories, and it's scary stuff. People are just being targeted. I mean, it's always scary, and it always feels a little unfair when, anybody is targeted for anything. Lots of times where somebody's being targeted because they happen to be gay, or they happen to be African American, or they happen to be Hispanic, or they happen to be, have red hair, or whatever. I just want to talk about how that ties into narcissism and negotiating with narcissists, because it really is actually going back to that person who is extremely insecure, that person who is threatened by others, who feels the world is actually a scary place, a place of survival where something happened deep down inside of them, and they felt that in order to survive, for me to survive, you can't survive. It's a me and not you world, or a me and against the rest of the world mentality. It's scarcity mentality at its absolute extreme. And so narcissists at their core are really just big fat bullies. That's what they are. Well, they can be skinny too, but they're just bullies. I oftentimes have said that, they're hollow on the inside. They've got nothing going on the inside, sort of like that hollow chocolate Easter bunny where they look good on the outside, there's nothing going on inside, because they have no inner sense of value. So they have to suck all of the value that they can possibly get out of their environment, out of people. And sometimes that is called Narcissistic Supply, and sometimes that looks like money and compliments and prestige and adulation and, right friends and best house and all of those things and, powerful job. But it can also be what I call the dark underbelly of Narcissistic Supply, which is degrading people, devaluing people, and even worse sometimes, it is violence, stalking, threats of violence, that sort of thing. And it all goes back to wanting that feeling of control, wanting that feeling of power. And, only people who have no inner sense of value feel like they need to get power by pushing people down, literally or figuratively, because people who feel good about themselves don't need to do that. Only people who are extremely insecure need to do that. So how does that tie back into negotiations? Well, with a narcissist, you're either for them or against them. So, if they're not getting any kind of supply out of you, then you're against them and you become public enemy number one. And that's when they try to do whatever they can to take you down, because they want you to go down before they go down. They want to expose you before you can expose them. They want to beat you to the punch. They also enjoy the process of making you squirm, making you feel intimidated, scaring you. They love it when you're scared. And when you're in a negotiation, reasonable person is trying to come up with a reason that you can get to a resolution. Like, what do they want? I'll just give it to them. I had a whole conversation with Dr. Joe Vitale. You should definitely check out my interview with him, where he talks about going through a divorce from a narcissist. And he said he was ready to just give the world. And it turned out to be the worst, most protracted, horrible experience of his life. He said it was actually worse than being homeless, worse than being in poverty, because he made the mistake of thinking, oh, if I just give them everything they want, then they'll leave me alone. That is the opposite of what you need to do. Remember that narcissists are really just big, fat bullies. So what you have to do is sort of like that bully in A Christmas Story, that movie where that bully, was going after Ralphie all the time. And one day Ralphie just had enough, and he just went off on him. The bully never went near him ever again. And that's what you have to do when you are dealing with a narcissist in a negotiation. You have to show that you are powerful. They respect that. They actually respect that more. So the more you shrink back, the more you think, oh my God, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? The more it's going to happen to you. So for people who are dealing with this right now, the hate crimes or anything like that, the answer is not to just shrink back and hope it goes away. The answer is to step up, like I'm doing right now, and say it's not okay, and we're not going to take it. And, we all should be respecting each other. We all have gifts. We're all unique. We were meant to be on this planet. There's not one other person on the planet that's like you. You were meant to be here. You were meant to shine. We all have gifts. And that's what we need to show. Okay? So if you are getting ready to negotiate with a narcissist in any kind of a setting, grab my free Crush My Negotiation prep worksheet at winmynegotiation.com. If you like this video, like it, share it, drop me a comment, let me know that you were here, and feel free to join me in my free private Facebook group as well, which is Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung. I'm Rebecca Zung. I'm so glad that you stopped by my channel. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that now. Subscribe, hit that notification bell. And remember, today's a great day to start negotiating your best life. I'll see you in the next video.